Imagine a world where the old ways don't just stop working, but start fighting back, where traditional methods crumble under the pressure of new realities, and every move feels like a bet against time itself. For those watching right now, you're not just battling market volatility or trying to outsmart the next headline. You're fighting to keep control over what's yours, your vision, your edge, your future. And that struggle? It's exhausting. It's relentless. It's the feeling that no matter how hard you push, the pieces keep shifting beneath you, sometimes faster than you can react. Healthcare costs are climbing, geopolitical storms threaten portfolios, inflation gnaws away at gains, and digital disruption rewrites rules every single day. If you're a leader in this high stakes game, you know the pain perfectly. The gnawing uncertainty and the crushing weight of responsibility for billions, sometimes trillions, on your shoulders. You're tasked with not just preserving wealth, but growing it responsibly. Yet traditional hedge funds alone don't cut it anymore. Sovereign wealth funds, those behemoths with capital pools stretching into the hundreds of billions, are waking up to the fact that going it alone is suicide in today's fractured, lightning fast landscape. This is not your grandfather's investment world. The old guard is faltering. The global economy is a beast now tangled in more complexity. Climate change risks, tech leaps so rapid they're almost dizzying, social unrest shaking entire foundations. Sovereign funds can't simply sit behind bureaucratic walls and expect magical growth. They need innovation, raw, aggressive, flexible change agents that aren't shackled by slow moving tradition. They need hedge funds, those surgical, agile forces that smell opportunity in chaos and dart in like hunters. But it's not just about convenience or pooling money, it's survival. Sovereign funds teaming up with hedge funds is the front line of a revolution, where static capital meets dynamic minds. These partnerships are the antidote to stagnancy. Hedge funds bring the firepower of creativity, opportunism, and risk taking that sovereign funds desperately need to stay relevant and competitive. Hedge funds thrive on asymmetry, finding value where others see risk or ignore it altogether. Sovereign funds bring scale, patience, and legitimacy to the table. Together, they obliterate conventional barriers. Understand this: the biggest pain sovereign funds face is not just market drops or regulatory headaches. It's the existential squeeze of relevance in a world that's accelerating too fast. Institutional inertia kills opportunity. Bureaucracies choke agility. These funds are massive, yes, but giant ships don't turn on a dime. Hedge funds are speedboats. Combining these two extremes creates raw power. Sovereign funds get access to alpha that's unburdened by size, while hedge funds gain access to capital that fuels their strategies without the constant pressure to exit prematurely. Now, here comes the secret few won't tell you. This isn't just about money or returns. It's about reshaping a system designed to hold back radical individuals, leaders who refuse to be cogs, who break molds, who burn to build new realities. Sovereign funds and hedge funds joining forces is a bold strike against complacency. It disrupts the myths that progress comes from the center, that risk must be minimized to the point of zero possibility, that conformity is safety. Every alliance formed here is a piece of a larger puzzle, a new blueprint for how power moves through the world. Picture this: a world where these funds don't just chase quarterly numbers, but invest deep in transformative technologies, sustainable futures, and even culture-defining ideas. Hedge funds inject a predator's instinct, seizing mispricings, exploiting inefficiencies, targeting niches so small they are invisible to old-school managers. Sovereign funds provide the patient capital to weather storms that kill short-term players. Their partnership can create a force so resilient, so adaptable, they become a new kind of market maker, one that bends liquidity and risk around their fingers. And for those hungry for practical wisdom on how to ride this wave, here's the core. Align with those rare funds that refuse to settle for the average, that see beyond mere numbers to the essence beneath, the people, the trends, the hidden pressures shaping tomorrow. Partner not because you want shelter, but because you crave the heat of innovation, disruption, and relentless transformation. These are funds who dare to question everything, who sharpen their edge by embracing complexity rather than running from it. Focus on longevity, not flash. The real game is about patience, waiting through the storms, knowing when to accelerate and when to hold back. Players who chase the quick hit are doomed to lose both their edge and their capital. Sovereign and hedge fund partnerships thrive by understanding the tempo of real change isn't linear. It's fractured, unpredictable. But when mastered, it can be molded into unmatched advantage. Work with funds that are selective, who build coalitions out of shared vision and fiery commitment, not convenience or superficial metrics. Dig into structures that allow transparency blended with autonomy. Understand the power of alignment, where goals sink so tightly that friction dissolves. The days of one-size-fits-all investment models are over. The future belongs to those who script new narratives and build bespoke, adaptive strategies. Sovereign wealth funds want access to hedge funds' hardcore, fast turnaround tactical plays, but also want to maintain the patient eye of a long-term steward. That duality is delicate but deadly if done right. Here's a truth rarely spoken aloud. Many sovereign funds are plagued by internal echoes: risk aversion, legacy blockers, silos that stifle innovation. Hedge funds can smuggle in a breath of fresh air, but only if sovereign fund leadership is willing to embrace discomfort, to challenge decades-old habits. This partnership is a call for courage. The courage to unlearn what safe means and to redefine freedom in investing. It's a call to break free from the shackles of conformity, swap comfort for control, and create a reality where your will isn't limited by outdated systems or tired rules. One of the most devastating problems in finance today is isolation. Brilliant minds trapped behind layers of bureaucracy, disconnected from those who could elevate their insights into seismic shifts. This teaming up is an antidote, an unleashed network of rare thinkers and doers armed with capital and courage. It represents a future where misalignment becomes synergy, where dissonance turns into power. For you, the investor or leader watching, it means tapping into a bloodstream of collaborations that are raw, real, and ready to tear down cages instead of building new ones. This is not about cozy safety nets. It's about radical escalation, a mutual fire that burns higher when fanned by the right sparks. Sovereign funds gain access to hedge fund agility and niche knowledge. Hedge funds gain the breathing room and political legitimacy to take calculated risks others won't dare. Both sides escape the slow grind of mediocrity and step into a realm where possibility explodes. How often do you get to play at this level? To fight distractions, to align deep with those who share your hunger for ascendancy? Understand what this means on the ground. Quicker pivots into disruptive tech sectors. Sharper moves into climate solutions that redefine economic value. Fierce plays in private markets that the big slow movers can't touch quickly enough. Hedge funds carry intelligence networks that detect tiny shifts before others see them. Sovereign funds then provide the patience and scale to bankroll these ideas past infancy. This partnership creates a cycle where innovation survives and thrives, immune to the usual pitfalls of size or speed. If you feel squeezed by limited options, trapped by legacy frameworks politely called structure, know this. The future of capital is about selective connection, about amplifying the few who dare to break rules, rather than fixing the many who play by them. These partnerships mark the beginning of a landscape where sovereignty is your weapon and alignment is your shield. Wealth isn't just preserved, it is transformed into a living, breathing force capable of bending reality. So, what must you do? Look beyond traditional labels, beyond static hierarchies built on old truths. Seek out those sovereign funds not afraid to break with the past, who are scouting for hedge fund partners, not because they must, but because they want to, for that edge, that spark, that catalytic synergy. Invest time, energy, and mind into truly understanding who these players are. Not just managers, but disruptors, visionaries, fighters who refuse to settle for incremental growth, but aim to remake landscapes. In this alliance lies not only a chance to outsmart markets, but to rewrite investment DNA, to infuse capital with speed, courage, and adaptability, shattering illusions of safety and control. This is a battle for the soul of the market, a fight not just for alpha, but for relevance, future-proofing, and ultimate freedom. The fire is lit, the movement has begun. This partnership, this union, is the battlefield where legacy confronts innovation and where you must decide your place. Will you cling to comfort while the world leaves you behind? Or will you seize this rare chance to join those few blazing trails no one else dares to follow? The answer lies in the flame you choose to follow, the relentless, raging fire of transformation that sovereign and hedge funds now feed together with unstoppable force.